Welcome to the Boyd Autobody and Glass, 3 keys to the game. I'm Tait from BlueBombers.com, joined as always by the lovely and talented Derek Taylor of CJOB, the voice of the Blue Bombers on CJOB. Here we are in lovely downtown Montreal.
Cough, cough, smoke in the air, cough, cough.
A lot of smoke in the air. Let's get to the 3 keys. A really compelling matchup against Montreal. Unbeaten Montreal, 2-0, a bit of a surprise, a lot of a surprise to everybody in the league. And first and foremost, one of the takeaways from last week was all the sacks that the Bombers gave up, 7 sacks in total. And that's something definitely to keep an eye on against this Montreal defense.
Yeah, in a Zach Collara start, the Bombers had never allowed more than 5 sacks over last week. And I just went back and looked at them. 2 of them came with 3 rushers against 5 blockers. 2 other ones came with 4 rushers against 6 blockers. You know, that cannot be going over real well right back in the locker room when you have these double teams set to go and all of a sudden Matthew Betts is somehow getting through. He's an absolute world beater. So Montreal's a team last year that blitzed the Bombers relentlessly. One game, it was 73% of their snaps were blitzes. They didn't do the same thing last week against Hamilton, but what have they got in store for Collaros and the offense? And the Bombers' offensive line will certainly be ready for it because can't have what happened last week happen again.
Yeah, Noah Thorpe, their Montreal's defensive coordinator, is one of the best in the league, and he's going to be different. He's different every week. Number 2, Jackson Jeffcoat comes back from the early off the 6-game injured list, and man, that sure helps the defensive pressure up front, doesn't it?
Yeah, he takes off Miles Fox off the roster, so you get Jeffcoat, you get Jefferson, you get Celestin Haba, and Anthony Bennett. So now 4 defensive ends to rotate through, and true defensive ends, right? You can bump Walker out, you can bump Fox out, but this is 4 guys who know how to attack off the edge. And for my dollar, Jackson Jeffcoat, when he plays, nobody gets quarterback pressure like Jackson Jeffcoat. So having him back is enormous. And that was the complementary piece to last week's game was Vernon Adams had a lot of time in the pocket. Cody Fajardo presents some of the same problems, but if you can get on top of him, you can win and you can really prosper.
An intriguing addition to the depth chart this week is Greg McCrae, who can play running back, who can be a receiver, can return. It's kind of an interesting thing for Buck Pierce to have at the controls of the offense to maybe implement in some ways. And he's added, so let's talk about him and his potential impact.
Yeah, presumably at this moment going in for Carlton Agudosi, though Nick Dembski is a game-time decision. Carlton at 6'6" and Greg McCrae at not 6'6" are dramatically different players, right? Last week we saw Carlton get sent down deep and go make a big jump ball catch and do some stuff underneath. McCrae, I would anticipate, we could run him out of the backfield. We could do some jet sweeps. We could do some, I don't remember a lot of hitch and tunnel screens, right, out to the wide side of the field, but that would absolutely be in McCrae's wheelhouse. So whether they were just looking for something different by bringing in McCrae, or they wanted to give him a shot, or they wanted to put Carlton in the background for a game, whatever it is, the excitement of Greg McCrae, I think a lot of us remember him catching that touchdown with Rad Muhammad, his now teammate, hanging all over him in Winnipeg back early last season. A little more excitement in a dramatically different package for the Bombers tonight.
It's going to be an intriguing game. The unbeaten Alouettes versus the 2-1 Bombers. Who would have thought that a few weeks ago? For the lovely and talented Derek Taylor of CJOB, I'm Tait from BlueBombers.com, and that's the Boyd Autobody and Glass, 3 keys to the game.